At our Green Clean series webinars. Today's webinar is Learn from the Leaders, and we are very excited that you're able to join us and to help us learn from some of the top green cleaning programs in the country, according to our American School and University Green Cleaning Network and Healthy Schools Campaign annual Green Cleaning Awards. Before we get started, I just want to say again, thank you. And today's webinar, Learn from the Leaders, is part of a series of webinars that we're doing this summer. Our upcoming webinars also include green cleaning and infection control, information on our Green Cleaning Awards, where you can learn about what we're looking for, how to fill out the application, and get kind of a little bit of insight on how to kind of really write the best application you can, because it's getting more and more competitive every year. Also learning about new technology, and finally the financial case for green cleaning. We hope you'll be able to join us. If you are a school, please join us. If you have friends, let them know if you think they'd be interested, and feel free to share that with your networks. Also, today and ongoing, please be part of the conversation. Follow us on Twitter at Healthy Schools. And today, as well as over the next few days, if you tweet with the hashtag GreenClean2012, we will be sure to be engaged in that conversation around green cleaning. Today's webinar is going to run for approximately an hour. A recording of the webinar will be made available online afterwards. It'll probably take us 2 to 3 days. So if anyone that you know is interested in this information, you will be able to send them a link. As well as download the presentations. So all of that will be available. Also, when we are done, when you leave, whether it is in an hour or in 45 minutes, please take 2 minutes. A survey should pop up. Please take a few moments to answer those surveys and help us make sure we're doing a good job and make sure our job always gets a little bit better. Finally, the last 15 minutes of our webinar will be for Q&A. With the Q&A, there is a little box on your screen that should say questions. Feel free to type your questions in. Chances are we'll be holding all the questions for the very end, but we will get to them to the best of our ability. Feel free to type them at any point, and you can ask questions through that chat or also by pressing the button raising your hand. So we look forward to engaging with you after our presentations. Today's speakers, the first one, Mark Bishop, Healthy Schools Campaign. That's me. In addition to me, I'm Vice President of Communications and Policy here at Healthy Schools Campaign, but we also have Jeff Hawkins at Dixon Middle School from Provo, Utah, Mike Jones from Columbia Public School District in Missouri, as well as Jay Kahn of Central Michigan University. All three of our speakers were award winners in this year's Green Cleaning Awards for schools and universities, held by, as I mentioned earlier, American School and University, the Green Cleaning Network, and Healthy Schools Campaign. If you are interested in applying for the award for your school, visit ASNU Magazine, the ASNU Magazine link that is on the screen. If you are a distributor, please share this with the schools that you work with or help them fill out the application. If you are a manufacturer, share this information with your distributors. If you are a nonprofit, let the schools in your areas know about this award and help them get recognized for doing the great work that is going on. A little bit about Healthy Schools Campaign. We are a not-for-profit located in Chicago, Illinois, but our programs are both local, state, as well as national in scope, and we work on that intersection of a healthy and environmentally sustainable school. And we believe in a common sense notion that a healthy child is going to be a more successful student, and we have a responsibility of keeping our students healthy while they're in school. In 2006, we published our Quick and Easy Guide to Green Cleaning in Schools, which really launched a lot of our work on green cleaning, which is focused around education, engagement. We do a lot of promotions electronically. We work on policies to promote greater adoption of green cleaning at the local, state, as well as federal level, and we are always open and always willing to talk to our heart's content about green cleaning and help schools continue to provide healthier and safer environments in our schools. And speaking about our guide, one of the things that we love is all of the partners that we have. This is a very short, partial list of some of the national participating organizations who we work with, including the American Federation of Teachers, the American Association of School Administrators. The list goes on, and we always are looking to expand our reach and expand our networks. So let's get a little bit to the content now today of today's webinar, and we're talking about green cleaning. The meat of our show is going to be from hearing the schools themselves, but just a little context. I'll start by what is green cleaning. According to us, we look at that green cleaning is cleaning to protect health without harming the environment. And we like to make sure, and it is very deliberative that we say protecting health is first, because we want everyone to understand that the priority in anything that we're doing, we are cleaning a building and cleaning a school, is protecting the health of the occupants. We clean our schools not to have shiny floors, not to have an impressive looking building, although it does help a lot. But we clean our schools for the same reason that a hospital is going to clean their schools. We need to make sure we are stopping the spread of the disease, make sure we are reducing asthma triggers, make sure we are doing things to really ensure a healthful occupant and that we're keeping our students in their seats. Additionally, when we look to defining what is green, one of the things that we look to is how it's been defined at the federal level, so we all have a common understanding. And in 2007, then President Bush signed Executive Order 13423, which defines green as products and services that reduce the health and environmental impacts compared to similar products and services used for the same purpose. And this is a very important definition for us. And I like to take two things out of this definition. And part of that is it's about reducing the health and impacts for similar products, similar things, which means there's no specific end goal. It's about continual improvement, and it's always about looking where we're at and trying to make sure that we are continuously reducing the health and environmental impacts and always doing a better job. The second thing I like to point out is it's about health and environment, and we cannot take those two and separate them. They are interrelated. We have to protect the health of our kids. We have to protect the health of our teachers, of our custodial staff, of all school occupants, and we also have to make sure we are being proper stewards of our environment so we can hand down a healthy environment to our kids. So specifically, why do we care about green cleaning? We looked at 5 main areas, and by no means are these the only 5, but what we like to say is green cleaning helps students stay healthy and learn. It's about reducing those asthma triggers and improving indoor air quality and helping do those things that are going to keep kids in the classroom and healthy. 2, it protects the health of custodial staff. These are the frontline workers that are really the front line of protecting the health of all occupants in our schools, and it's so important that when they have those firsthand and primary exposures to the chemicals that they're using, that we want to make sure that they are healthy. Occupational asthma rates for custodial staff in schools is exceptionally high, and we want to make sure that we're doing what we can to keep them safe. 3rd, we are looking at maintaining our schools. We have a responsibility to maintain this investment that we have nationwide in our school infrastructure, and by cleaning with less toxic, less harsh, less abrasive products and procedures, we can make sure that we are supporting, we are extending the lifespan of what our buildings are, and make sure that we are maintaining them in a proper way. 4th, not the least, not that it deserves to be 4, but we have to have some order, is preserving the environment. The janitorial industry has a huge impact in terms of paper, plastic production, as well as the chemical production. So we have the ability to make significant improvements in the environment by looking at our cleaning programs. And finally, fiscal responsibility. Whenever we talk to leaders in green cleaning, it always comes down to making sure we are being stewards of the environment, stewards of health, but also stewards of our budget, and making sure that we are doing things that can efficiently and effectively support our cleaning programs and our students. So, as I'm done with my portion, I'm going to begin by, in a moment I'm going to introduce our first speaker, but before we do so, we're going to ask a quick question. I want to make sure that the people out there are paying attention. So my first question for everyone is a little poll. What is the biggest barrier to starting a green cleaning program? And I'd love for you to take a quick stab at taking the answer. And while you are answering that, I'm going to read a little bit about Jeff Hawkins. Jeff Hawkins began working in the cleaning industry in 1998 when he took his second job as a part-time custodian at the local high school in Provo, Utah. After years of hard work, he was promoted to the position of head custodian at an elementary school where he worked for 8 years. In 2010, Jeff was asked to lead up a new cleaning program to standardize custodial operations through the district. Jeff is currently working at Dixon Middle School, where he is the acting head custodian, as well as a program manager and trainer for the district's OS1 cleaning program. So let us look at the answers. And it looks like the biggest barriers of starting a new program as perceived are, 1, resistance of staff and leadership, followed by cost. Well, hopefully, Jeff with his winning of the best new program for green cleaning will be able to address some of these barriers, whether they are real or perceived. So Jeff, I welcome you, and please take it away.
Hi, thank you very much, Mark. My name is Jeff Hawkins. I'm the head custodian at Dixon Middle School in Provo City School District in Provo, Utah, where I'm also the OS1 program manager and the certified OS1 trainer. And I thank you for this opportunity to share our experience with everyone. Next slide, please. Here's a picture of the school that I'm headquartered in. This is Dixon Middle School, which was built in 1931. It's approximately 130,000 square feet, and we serve in excess of 850 students. We are in an 81-year-old building that is the oldest in the school district currently. We are a low-income, disadvantaged neighborhood. In addition to serving as a middle school during the day, we also have an extensive evening adult education program and parks and recreation programs, which essentially mean that our building is in use 6 days a week for about 15 hours a day. Next slide, please. This slide that you see is of Mr. Joe Gledhill, who in 2009 became the new Facilities and Maintenance Director for Provo City School District. Mr. Gledhill was familiar with the Healthy Schools campaign and had also been exposed to management's OS1 cleaning program. And when he came to our district, he felt that these were two ideas that he wanted to bring to custodial services throughout our district. And I was approached and asked if I would be willing to lead up this new program at Dixon Middle School. I was currently working at another elementary school in the district, and he asked me if I'd be willing to pilot this new green cleaning program. Next slide, please. We did about a 4.5 to 5 hour initial assessment of Dixon Middle School before we really got started with anything else, just to kind of see what we were facing. As you can see from a couple of these photos, we had some real challenges coming into this situation. We obviously identified that there was a lack of custodial management, little or no training or supervision for custodians, and as you'll see from the next couple of slides on the next slide, that it's pretty much was an environmental disaster. These photos that you see here are from, go back, there we go, thank you. These photos you see here are from the main custodial closet at Dixon. As you can see from the photos, very filthy, dirty, disgusting situation, lack of organization, lack of cleanliness, lack of regard for the environment, disorganization, just terrible situation. You can see from the bottom right-hand photo how chemicals are being improperly stored. They're actually leaking down these shelves. I don't know how well you can see that in the photo, but really bad environmental conditions. Next slide, please. So after we had this initial meeting at the school, we sat down to try and assess what we were really up against. Some of the main things that we noted were that there were numerous dangerous chemicals and filthy working and learning conditions in the school. We quickly did an inventory of the chemicals that were in the building and found that most of them were improperly labeled, no documentation as far as MSDS, and identified that we potentially had somewhere in the neighborhood of $550,000 or more in potential OSHA fines if they had come in at that time and audited our program. The other key things we identified were that we needed to have more emphasis on the custodial workers' safety and health, the student, the teacher, and the staff safety and health, and that the patrons' safety and health were very important, and that there was a little or no regard for their safety and health, and little to no regard for the environment. We also identified that these conditions were having an impact on student achievement and that we needed to make some changes. Next slide, please. So we sat down and said, how do we fix this? The first thing we said was we need to commit to make this change. We need to make a strong commitment to the environment and to our students and our patrons and our stakeholders of our building that we right this wrong, that we turn the ship around and get headed in the right direction. One of the first things we did was we partnershiped with a company called Mattin and adopted their OS1 green cleaning program. OS1 is founded by a gentleman named John Walker. Some of you may be familiar with him. He has worked with ISSA as the Director of Educational Services, and he also created the handbook called 540 Cleaning Times that some of you may be familiar with. He's created a wonderful green cleaning program that manages custodial operations. We partnered with them to help us get on the right track. The next thing we did was removed all of the chemicals, tools, and equipment that were related to custodial. And then we remodeled all of the custodial areas, the head custodian office, the janitorial closets, and we replaced all of these items with environmentally responsible products and tools and chemicals. Next slide, please. One of the other key changes that we made in going green at our school was that we replaced all of the dispensers in the school and converted to Green Seal certified products. All of the paper products in our school are Wausau Bay West products, paper towels, toilet paper, the seat covers, and our hand soap are all GS37 Green Seal certified products throughout the school. Next slide, please. Another thing that we felt was really important was that we inform our stakeholders of what we were intending to do at the school. We had what was called a town hall meeting where we invited teachers, parents, community council members, PTA, members of the general public, the surrounding neighborhood, to come in and see what we were attempting to do to make our program transparent and to ask for their support. We also pleaded to our teachers to no longer bring in chemicals from home because of their dangerous nature to the environment, and because it's a logistics nightmare for the head custodian to document what chemicals they're bringing in and out. We have no idea. So we asked them to no longer bring those, and that we would provide them with Green Seal certified cleaning products that they could use at the school. And we also began to emphasize a recycling program where recycling bins were placed in all of the classrooms, and a recycling dumpster was placed in our parking lot, not only for the school to use, but for the surrounding community. Next slide, please. The next thing that we did was we began to educate or re-educate, I should say, our janitorial workers on what they needed to do to spearhead this green cleaning program. We have what's called an OS1 boot camp, which is essentially a 2-day training program for all of the janitorial workers that will be in a green cleaning building, where they get intense training on the science of cleaning and their environmental responsibility as the frontline people working in the school to protect the environment. We stress the proper use and disposal of cleaning chemicals and packaging, and we refer to them as environmentors of the program. They're at the forefront of leading up this green cleaning program. Next slide, please. Another key thing that we did was that after we had responsibly removed the dangerous chemicals from the building, we replaced those with portion pack Green Seal certified chemicals. All of our daily use cleaning chemicals now are Green Seal certified products, except for our restroom disinfectant, which because of its kill claim can't be technically called green, but it is EPA registered. And we also introduced microfiber Unger brand microfiber mops and cloths to help conserve water because of their unique surface with the microfiber. It helps us to clean through the use of friction, where we can use less chemical. The microfiber mop heads use about 70% less water than a traditional Kentucky string mop. So that was a key thing that we did in our program to move forward to being green. Next slide, please. Another key thing that we did was that we added Pro Team Super Coach backpack vacuums to our program to help with the indoor air quality. These vacuums have a 4-level filtration that removes 99.9% of all lung-damaging particles that are 1 micron in size or larger, so that we're actually capturing these contaminants and dirt and removing them from the building rather than just kind of sweeping them around with large dust mops. These vacuums are CRI, Carpet and Rug Institute Green Label certified machines. Next slide, please. Going back to our environmental program through OS1, again, all of our daily use cleaning chemicals are green, except, again, for our restroom disinfectant, which is EPA registered. And we emphasize source reduction, a lean inventory system, and all of the products that we removed, we sold or donated the overstock. And the other thing that we emphasize is the packaging reduction on all of our chemicals and paper products. With the portion pack pouches, it really helps to keep those landfills from filling up by using those small pouches as opposed to gallon jugs. And all of our paper products, the packaging on those is 100% recycled. Next slide, please. I'm going to summarize this really quickly. It'll be posted online so that you can take a minute to read through it later on, but I'll quickly summarize. This is a picture of Miss Christy Giblin, who's a teacher at Dixon Middle School, who, when I began here working here in 2010, she had been ill and absent quite a bit of the time. She had a lot of health issues where she suffered from severe migraine headaches, blackout spells, some things that they couldn't quite identify what was going on. And through working with her doctor, they felt like that one of the things that was triggering some of the problems for her was some of the heavy chemical smells and odors from chemicals that she was using at home and that she was exposed to all day long at school. So about 3 months into our green cleaning program here at Dixon Middle School, she approached me and talked about how she was grateful for what we were doing, because since she had switched to green cleaning chemicals and the school also had switched to green cleaning chemicals, that she was no longer suffering from the migraine headaches, and she hadn't blacked out. So this is something that we're very proud about, proof that green cleaning can be effective and that it does have tremendous health benefits for the occupants of green cleaning buildings. Next slide, please. So how does our green pilot program stack up against other buildings and other programs? Next slide, please. In July 2011, this group of good-looking people here, it happens to be my cleaning team. These young ladies and young men all work for me here at Dixon Middle School. And in July 2011, we were awarded with the OS1 Green Certification Award, and we were also named the Best Cleaning Industry Environmental Program. We were very proud about this accomplishment. Next slide, please. And then later that year in November, American School and University Magazine, in conjunction with the Healthy Schools campaign, named us the best new program for K through 12 school districts, which is really the crown jewel in for us because of the importance and of validating what we're doing here at the school and getting the word out that green cleaning can work in a K through 12 school environment. We're very proud about this. Next slide, please. So moving forward, now what do we do in our district to keep the success rolling? Our vision for the future in Provo City School District is that we implement the OS1 program in all of our schools, that we continue to repeat the success in our schools, and that we continue to spread the green word to surrounding districts about the success, and that it can be repeated in other buildings. Next slide, please.
That's it.
That's my presentation. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you so much, Jeff. Now, for anyone who has questions, feel free to put them into the question box, and we'll get to them shortly. We're going to ask a quick question while I introduce in a moment, and then I will introduce our next speaker, Michael Jones. Our question that we have for you is, what do you think is the most important aspect of a successful green cleaning program? Now, I'm going to introduce Mike Jones, the Assistant Director of Custodial Services for Columbia Public Schools. Mike Jones has been with Columbia Public Schools for 10 years, 3 years as the warehouse foreman, and 7 years in his current position as the Assistant Director of Custodial Services. As a winner of the Grand Award for the Green Cleaning Awards, Mike has demonstrated how to start and build a successful green cleaning program. In 3 years, Columbia Public Schools has replaced all non-green products, reduced the number of products used, and created significant savings in key areas of the custodial services operational budget. So let's really quickly see the answers to our survey. And what do you think is the most important aspect? And it looks like number 1 is ongoing training. Number 2 is continual improvement, and those are very close. Followed by using fewer chemicals, and a distant fourth is using certified chemicals. I find that fascinating. In the quick and easy guide to green cleaning in schools and all the work that we do, we recognize that there's not just one path to creating a green cleaning program, and many schools are going to figure it out their own paths on their own ways. But what is constant is we do want to figure out strategies of reducing the chemicals that are being used, ongoing training. But one of the things that Mike Jones shows is continual improvement. He did win the Best New Program in 2010, and last year he won the Grand Award for all of his ongoing work. So to talk about that, I introduce Mike Jones. Mike, take it away.
Thank you, Mark. 3.5 years ago, Columbia Public Schools did not have a green cleaning program. January 2009, we began our program utilizing the voluntary recommendations of the Missouri Green Cleaning Guidelines and specifications for schools. All 35 of our district buildings are complete, and we are using green cleaning chemical procedures and practices. The next 2 slides are a few highlights of our programs receiving recognition for the Best New Program in 2010. We moved from using 33 conventional cleaning and floor care products to a total of 8 environmentally sensitive products. Paper towel, tissue, and soap products were all conventional, and then dispensers constantly malfunctioning. We replaced all existing dispensers with new, and all products utilized are now green. New cleaning procedures and practices were implemented to utilize our green cleaning products. We concentrated on cleaning our most touched surfaces and spray and rotate practices in the classroom to achieve proper dwell time of product. Restrooms where we do not have Kayabac restroom cleaning machines are all pre-sprayed, including the floors, fixtures wiped clean with microfiber wipers, and floors are mopped with plain cold water. All carpet is pre-sprayed and extracted with plain cold water as well. Conventional stream mops and mop buckets to apply floor finish were discarded. Instead, we implemented the use of backpack applicators with microfiber flat mops and a new procedure of pouring finish on the floor, running a 15-foot feeder line to spread thin and finish off with a microfiber flat mop. We removed all feather dusters from district buildings and now use either a backpack for dusting or microfiber cleaning rags to improve the indoor air quality of our building. Next slide, please. We have reduced our budget by 28% by cutting use of unnecessary and duplicate chemicals, waste of floor finish due to new procedures with microfiber flat mops, rebidding all paper towel, tissue, and soap dispensers with green products also helped in reducing our cost. All savings created has been used to purchase microfiber wipers, microfiber dust mop systems, and microfiber wet mop systems. It is interesting that each new program brought on board helped create more savings to our budget. Now we utilize less cleaning chemical by using microfiber products and fill mop double bucket wet mop systems. Next slide, please. From our recognition for Best New Program in 2010 until becoming our 2011 Grand Award winner, we have worked very hard to further our green program. A new trash can program was initiated to replace all metal trash cans, which the majority were in poor condition. The goal was to improve indoor air quality, reduce and place proper size cans in building spaces, and create waste bag savings. We have completed 17 district buildings, reducing small trash cans by 5% and large trash cans by 55%, eliminating the cost of waste and waste of over 40,000 bags per year in our landfills. This reduction in trash bag waste has saved our district $8,200 per year. The cost of new plastic cans was $8,400, making basically a zero net cost to implement. All metal trash cans were recycled to scrap, generating an additional $1,100. This year we will complete the remaining district buildings and anticipate the same net result. When this program is complete, we will have created an additional $16,000 to use towards implementation of other programs for the 2013-14 budget year. We were using cheap 6-micron high-density trash liners for our small trash cans, creating leaks inside of the cans and an indoor air quality issue, specifically in our classrooms. 45-gallon low linear bags were being used in our large trash cans. Most of our large trash cans were 25-gallon to 32-gallon, creating bag waste. Our previous trash bags contained no recycled content. We moved towards a small, low linear 0.9 mil bag to eliminate leaks in our small trash cans, and a true 32-gallon brute 1.5 mil bag for all other trash cans. Although the cost of our small trash bags increased by 3 cents per bag, our large bags dropped by 12 cents per bag, creating a yearly savings of $6,000 per year. Our Nutrition Services Department partnered on the bid, and they will create a savings of $9,000 per year. Good news, all bags are made with 70% recycled content. Next slide, please. We have district support of 14 partners in education that promote education and activities related specifically to the environment and healthy living. 21 buildings are involved in school programs to learn about the environment, climate change, personal and social responsibilities related to earth-friendly activities. All K-12 schools have full recycling programs that are student-based. Finally, our district participates in the City of Columbia in load shedding that keeps costs down to city residents and provides us a credit around $100,000 per year. We had 2 new district policies approved by the board this past year. Our student allergy prevention and response policy encompasses numerous items to help improve indoor air quality and better student learning. But most importantly, it eliminates all items intended to add fragrance, pesticides, and other chemicals unless pre-approved. No teachers or staff can bring any cleaning chemicals in from home. Our energy and environmental policy combines several policies into one, but establishes energy guidelines in all buildings to reduce energy, conserve water, indoor air quality management, asbestos management, and integrated pest management. 2 small key components are classrooms must use plastic containers for storage instead of boxes for pest management, and cloth and fabric type furniture cannot be placed in any district classroom to improve indoor air quality. The box on your right is our district website highlighting all of our district green programs. Next slide, please. This is a picture of a classroom at Shepherd Elementary, and this is the condition of how their classrooms are left by teachers at the end of the school day. 5 minutes prior to the end of school, students pick up all debris off the floors, clear tables and counters, and stack all chairs. This allows our staff time to properly clean and sanitize more surfaces and increases the productivity of their workday. In addition, this school was set up as a test site with a no-tape policy on student desks and floors. Tape on floors and tables collect dirt, bacteria, and germs, making classrooms unhealthy for students and teachers. Next slide, please. Green cleaning works very effectively, but must have district support. Over the past several years, I've spent time in buildings discussing our program during teacher-staff meetings, board meetings, and meeting with principals to convey our department's direction. It is very important to involve the leaders of your local teacher unions when making changes. Our MSTA and NEA groups strongly support our efforts, and they help convey the message of why green cleaning is important. If everyone shares in the responsibility of your green program, everyone has a healthier environment in which to work and or learn. Next slide, please. The first year and a half of our program, I always came up with an excuse that we could not place proper high-quality entrance matting in our buildings due to cost. However, this may be the most important item to complete in your green program, since 80% of contaminants enter buildings through entryways. Using our savings from our overall program and budgeting costs, we installed 8 of our buildings last year, and we'll be installing $20,000 worth of matting this year. We utilize Anderson Company Waterhog Eco Matting made of 100% recycled rubber content outside our entrances, and 2 types of roll goods for inside. Eco Elite bi-level roll goods, which are cut to fit in our vestibules, allow the matting to cover the entire walking space and eliminates the movement of mats. Beyond the vestibule, we install Eco Burger wiper matting. Both roll goods contain 100% PET fiber from reclaimed plastic bottles and 100% rubber backing containing around 20% recycled material. The length of the matting in the picture on your right is approximately 25 feet. Purchasing roll goods in bulk are much cheaper than typical pre-cut mats, and roll goods allow you to custom fit your entrances. Next slide, please. Professional development of your staff is important in the success of your program. Custodians must not only buy into what you are doing, but understand why green is important for the health of everyone in the building, including themselves. Our head and night lead staff, which is 30% of our custodial staff, are Green Clean certified technicians and take a yearly renewal course through the Green Clean Institute. Staff must understand why we clean, and our staff takes pride in being Green Clean certified technicians. This coming Thursday, our staff will complete their renewal certification, and we will be recognized and attain a Green Clean School certification by the Green Clean Institute. A ribbon cutting ceremony is planned with the Chamber of Commerce, district administration, board members, and our custodial staff. Next slide, please. We have a 315,000 square foot high school almost completed, and we'll be adding 5 elementary schools, 50,000 square feet of additions, a 50,000 square foot early childhood center, and numerous HVAC projects and lighting upgrades over the next 5 years. It will be an exciting challenge to help manage the green aspects of these projects and yet maintain and improve our overall existing green program. We have several goals and plans to improve our program, like completing the installation of proper floor matting in all district buildings, expansion of team cleaning program in larger buildings. One challenge will be our new Battle High School. Battle High School will be an 1,800 student school, and the campus will have a policy that all students must remain in the building for lunch. This will generate a tremendous amount of food waste. We will be looking into our city's new collection food waste program for composting. If this program works and is successful in reducing waste and cost, we hope to expand this into other district buildings. Next slide, please. I want to thank everyone for listening about our program at Columbia Public Schools, and thanks to Healthy Schools Campaign and all of their sponsors for working hard to promote green cleaning in schools. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mike. That was fabulous. We have one more presenter. That's going to be Jay Kahn from Central Michigan University. And before I introduce him, I have another quick question, quick poll. Does your school, whether it's a school you work in or your child's school, does it have a green cleaning program? Let us know. And let me introduce Jay. Jay is the director of facilities, facility operation at Central Michigan University. Central Michigan is the 4th largest university of Michigan, university in Michigan, enrolling 28,000 students, and began their green cleaning program in 2007. The department has 210 employees with an operating and deferred maintenance budget of $32 million. The green cleaning program's goal is to protect the health of building occupants by reducing air and water pollution while saving money. Now, let's have a quick see the answers. 20% say yes, a little over 30% say no, 10% in progress. So a good portion of individuals here looks like are learning about how to get started, and I think that's great. And I think Jay will be able to give us a good introduction onto what's going on at the university level. So Jay, it's all yours.
Good afternoon. The previous slide, please. The picture that you're seeing right there is myself up front. In the yellow is Ben Beal. My grad student Laura is in the background, and Supervisor Bob McCormick to the right, or to the left. What this is our green team, and we meet every 2 weeks and discuss how to improve our program. Next slide, please. Next slide. A little bit about CMU. We've got 114 custodians, and this is a little unique. 88 are unionized and 26 are contract non-union custodians. About 5.7 million square feet. That's over 100 buildings on main campus, and a main campus population of about 21,000. And our green cleaning program started in 2007 with Stephen Ashkin's Green Cleanings for Dummies as a training. Next slide. One of the things that we started right off the bat was how are we going to measure our progress with a large institution like CMU. We really had to get our arms around where we were at and where we were going to go in this journey. And so to help us do that, we were fortunate enough to have a financial software that was used university-wide to manage our work order system, our financial management system, and our warehousing and purchasing. So this allowed us to generate reports that we could rely on to accurately tell us how we were doing in whatever changes that we were making. And coincidentally enough, in the last couple of years, we use the same software system to manage our training program. Next slide. This is a sample of one of the reports that our financial software generates, and top 10 green products, top 10 non-green, and how much we spend on each. We also track what the change in pricing is, and this allows us to target items that are low-hanging fruit for us financially, and that's how we convince top management that the changes that we're making are successful, is financially the dollars that we're saving by being green. Next slide. This is another chart. This is used to communicate with people in the building and the custodians that are actually doing all the work for us. And this allows them to see the percentage of green products that they're using and non-green. To the bottom of this chart is really a 2-year rolling calendar, and every month 1 year will roll off and the next year will roll on. And to the left of this shows what the percentage is of green versus non-green, and the budget difference, how much we're saving over time by being green. And this, as an example, this is a summation of all our resident halls, and at CMU we sleep about 6,000 students on our main campus. And as you can see, over the last 2 years, we've been able to reduce that budget of custodial supplies by 7%. Next slide. And in our academic buildings and administrative buildings, we've actually increased our budget by 3% over 2 years. And you can see our green versus non-green percentages as well. So this is a pretty large communication tool that we use to let our individual, that 114 custodians, know how they're doing, and how to let the people in the building know how we're servicing them. Next slide. As I mentioned earlier, we use it to track our training program. We offer as formal classroom training on campus. Since we're a university, we're really good at that. About 30 hours of training per year. And our expectation is that custodians try to get between 20 and 24 hours of either a combination of classroom, individual training with their supervisor, or online training, which is offered by a number of our vendors per year. And we include those numbers in the individual employee evaluations. I asked our grad student to kind of show some of the events that we're using for formalized training. As you can see, microfiber technologies one, green carpet care, basic green cleaning concepts. A lot of these classroom sessions are repeated every year, but as new technology comes online, we roll that out through our training program. Next slide. One of the things that we found early on with our green cleaning program is the impact that it had on the users in our buildings. We had a couple of examples of people who were severe asthmatics that benefited greatly from are changed into green cleaning. And our two supervisors who are here with me right now might be able to expound on that a little bit.
Yeah, what we did is by communication with all of our custodians during our training, and then also we have building coordinator meetings with all of our building coordinators for each building. And during those meetings, we are expressing our interest in finding any special needs. And we also do this one-on-one in the buildings with the custodial staff, with the staff at work and the faculty and students in the buildings. And we discovered that there were some people out there with special needs. And this all came about because Central Michigan hosts the Michigan Special Olympics. We have for many, many years, and we learned that there are a lot of special needs for our visitors, our staff. And by doing all of this communication and spending a lot of time in that area, when we discovered someone with special needs, we immediately changed the way we do things in those buildings around those people. It could mean changing the hours that we're cleaning, using microfiber technology, the CRI vacuum cleaners like you've seen in some of the other slides. And taking all these steps, we've managed to make very many people feel a lot better, and we're very proud of ourselves for doing that.
Ben, do you have an example you'd like to share?
Bob pretty much summed it up, but one example that I can think of off the top of my head is that we have a specific individual in one of our buildings that every year during the carpet extraction season, they always request that we don't use wet extraction in their office because of the scare of mold and mildew. So we've used a dry extraction called Host, to where it's basically like the sawdust you put on the floor, and it removes all the dirt and stuff through sponges. And since doing that, they've had no issues with their asthmatics and stuff like that. And we typically leave it up to the individual custodians because they're the ones that are intimate with all the building occupants, and they build relationships. So they know who has the asthmatic problems, and they adjust their cleaning schedule to clean around those needs.
Some of the important takeaways for us were that we document those asthmatics on a formal custodial plan that is tailored to the particular building. And also, for the increased informal communication, it really was a push for us to continue and maybe expand our day cleaning program to get a higher degree of contact with the individual building users. Next slide, please. Next slide. Our formal communication is all these individual bullets. We've got probably, like a lot of you out there, a building coordinator program where you have one person who is your communication hub with the other people in that building. And we get together as a group once, maybe twice a year to discuss a variety of maintenance and custodial issues. Email distribution lists, vendor-sponsored training seminars, employee evaluations, and custodial plans, performance standards, job descriptions. Next slide. This is an example of our typical written custodial plan, and of course you're looking at frequencies, and the yellow highlight is a person who has an asthma issue in a particular room. So every year we're updating these plans, so to take in consideration people moving around from building to building and new employees, and as other information presents itself. Next slide. Just like with any good employee program, we have written performance standards that custodians are familiar with, and so we have not just these three, of course, but this is about a 2-page document that specifies what our employee expectations are, everything from carpet care to high dusting. Next slide. And as Ben was talking about, informal communication is really probably our best asset, which is our people and them talking to the customers that they serve. And so day cleaning for us is a significant part of that communication. Next slide. And we also have written communication logs that hang on the custodial break rooms and custodial closets, where anybody, students, staff, faculty, can just walk up and write a comment about a coffee spill or an office that needs to be cleaned. And since it's hard to track down a custodian, this is just obviously another way to get that message to us. Next slide. Program advancements, outdoor recycling, heated sidewalks is an issue, is a new thing for us. What we're doing is we're following LEED standards in construction of new buildings. And of course, one of the main ways to keep your building clean is keep the dirt out. We're also successful in doing a zero waste dining facility, and we started a composting program 2 years ago. Next slide. Some of our innovations, like I was talking about, LEED requirements from USGBC. The Dyson hand dryers, although very expensive, we're not supplying those to campus without a cost. So if individual departments want to pay for it, we're happy to install. Window washing is interesting for us. We're using a reverse osmosis window washing program. So what falls on the ground is basically water. And of course, dilution systems like most of you are probably using. Next slide. One of the things that we're really good at a university is communicating with students who are our main customers here, and we do that in a variety of different programs through our resident life facilities and through other registered student organizations. Leadership Safari is basically a kickoff program for the year, which is coming up for us next month. Earth Day, and through Twitter, Facebook, and other electronic media. Next slide.
Well, that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your presentation. That was excellent, Jay. We want to, but regrettably, we actually just used up our entire hour, but we have questions that have already come in. So before anyone hangs up, we ask you to take a quick moment to answer a quick question for us. And are you willing to stay a few more moments and we'll try to get through questions with you all. So just take a moment. If you have to run, we understand, but take a moment and tell us, you can stay for 5, 10, or 15 minutes. And we're going to be open. The poll will be open for another 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8. In the meantime, make sure that you tell people and get people interested in the next Green Cleaning Awards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it looks like a few people have to run, but a number of people can stay. We're going to try to stay about 10 more minutes. So thank you. If you have to leave, we understand. So before everyone goes, just one last pitch. Green Cleaning Awards. We want to highlight the best programs out there. Manufacturers, let your distributors know about it. Distributors, help your schools apply and make yourself look like a star by making your school look like a star. And schools out there, apply tomorrow. Applications are due in September, so you've got time to fill it out. The link is right there. And having said that, if you have a question and think about it later, make sure you can tweet it to us using the hashtag GreenClean2012. In the meantime, I will now hand it over for the next 10 minutes to Alex Scheibel to go through the questions.
Hi everyone, and thanks for sending in your questions throughout the webinar. Feel free to keep sending them in. Our speakers will be with us till the end. So I'll get right to it. The first question, we've had a number of questions come in about cost, and I know Mike Jones spoke a little bit about it, but I was hoping each of our speakers could speak to the cost of implementing their program and any words of wisdom they have regarding that.
All right, let's start with asking Mike, because I know you were very, very passionate speaking about cost. So, Mike, can you speak to the broader overall cost of implementing your new green program?
Well, there's really not a cost to implement it at all. It takes care of itself. The thing you can't compare is just the cost of a bottle of if you're looking at a new green cleaning chemical, you can't look at the cost of 1 gallon versus your existing conventional product. You have to look at the dilution rates and everything else, but you need to also understand that putting small programs in like microfiber is going to help reduce your total consumption, and that's really what we did, because we moved from a total of 33 products down to only 8 because we had duplicate cleaning products. We had 4 or 5 different types of floor cleaners, and we didn't need that. And if you go visit your buildings, look in your custodial closets, you probably have 6. Some buildings we found had 3, 4, 5, 6 months worth of window cleans sitting dead in inventory in their custodial closets. So it's kind of, you got to kind of look at the whole program. But I guess I just want to stress: don't look at a gallon of cleaning chemical versus another gallon of cleaning chemical, because you got to analyze a lot of different things to help look at the total reduction. And floor finish application, that was probably our largest reduction in our total budget savings, was how we were putting down our floor finish. And there's new procedures out there, and you can save a lot of money in floor finish waste.
Mm-hmm. Great. Jeff, anything you would like to add?
Yeah, unfortunately, the financial situations in our district, we did a very poor job prior to a green cleaning implementation of tracking how we were spending things. So we're still working on some data for that, but one of the biggest challenges we had, unfortunately, was just getting our facilities to a condition that we could actually clean the building properly. A lot of our costs went into replacing mop sinks and replacing all of the custodial equipment here, because it was just in such a deplorable condition. We've since re-educated some of our financial people at the district into understanding the difference between what it costs to maintain the cleaning program as opposed to what it costs to implement it initially. And as we move into other schools that aren't in quite as bad condition, they're starting to understand that we really are saving money through the use of the green chemicals, and that, and they're starting to understand that initial cost that we had here at this school, a lot of it had nothing to do with switching to green cleaning chemicals. That it was more about just getting us up to a standard that we could actually function as a custodial staff. But we are gathering numbers as we speak about annual costs and so forth, which we've never done in this district before. So we're kind of in the beginning stages of all of that, but we're watching it closely, and we're very interested here in a couple of years to have some data about what we're actually spending on a day-to-day basis. For a building this size, we figure that we're only spending about $4.44 a day to clean the entire building with the chemicals that we use. So unfortunately, we don't have numbers to compare that to historically, but compared to other buildings, we're finding that that's a very competitive rate.
Just real quick, I would Jake and CMU, that 90% of what our budget goes to is consumables, which are non-chemical related, like can liners and paper products, and coincidentally, or interestingly enough, gloves. And so if we're concentrating on our vital few items, after you get a dilution system, chemicals don't play too much of a role in what our decision making is. we're looking at the other 90% of the budget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great, thank you. We have another question, and Mark might be able to provide perspective on this as well. What can the manufacturer do to help schools get more interested in adopting green cleaning programs? So I don't know if any of our districts or CMU, if you have perspective on that, if you work directly with manufacturers, or if you have thoughts on how the role that they can play in promoting green cleaning programs.
Well, a lot of what our vendors do is provide training for our custodians free. And so we take advantage of that a lot. And of course, the custodial innovations over the last 5 years, the work has changed a tremendous amount. So we're constantly being bombarded with the new and greatest things like ionized water, those types of things. And we really have to road test those new technologies and to really understand whether they work or not, or whether they're just the latest gimmick on the market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So kind of buyer beware.
Yeah, and this is Mark Bishop, Healthy Schools Campaign, and and we agree that every manufacturer out there does have the latest and the greatest, and oftentimes that it's true, and sometimes it's not. What we would encourage manufacturers to do is, when you're talking about chemicals, make sure you're looking towards getting certifications so there is credibility in the marketplace and that you can back up your claims. Look to Green Seal, Eco Logo, the Design for the Environment programs, because they are going to verify that when you say something is green, it really is. Second of all, look to programs. Join us, a Healthy Schools Campaign, and join our team by helping to educate consumers, educate distributors, so that we can provide better materials, better information, as well as ultimately set better policies to promote healthier, healthier and better cleaning programs in schools. So.
Great, thank you. So next question. If our school isn't currently using green cleaning practices, what is likely to be the most successful approach for a parent to take to encourage the school to move in that direction? So this might be more for Jeff and Mike, if you've had any active parents that have been involved in your green cleaning program, or if you have perspective on the role that non-school staff could play in promoting green cleaning.
I'll start a little bit at first. Yeah, we have a lot of parents that come into our buildings, and they go in and clean classrooms during the day when the kids are going to lunch, and they grab our custodians. They want to know what we're using, and that's one of the things that I do. I talked about a little bit in my presentation. Is it's a shared responsibility, and a lot of that is when we had our staff meetings and so forth and so on, teachers are parents too, and that communication gets out there, and we invite parents to come in and ask questions and get involved in helping with our recycling programs or anything else. I think I kind of answered it, but maybe not completely. Maybe somebody else can expand on that.
Well, this is Mark Bishop. I'll jump in and say, there are a lot of resources out there. We have our quick and easy guide to green cleaning in schools. We would, of course, make it available free to any parent. We would encourage any parent to reach out and introduce themselves so that you meet the head custodian, talk about the custodial programs, talk about the chemicals, talk about the procedures that are being used. Reach out to your school board. Ask them to get engaged in this question. Because a lot of individuals are not so aware of the value and importance of a quality green cleaning program, but believe me, there are very few principal school board members, superintendents that we've spoken to that don't believe a healthy, clean environment isn't important. Just very frequently, it's just not. It's not the immediate need in front of them. So they need a parent, they need an advocate to step up and kind of bring that to their attention. Not saying it's always an easy road, but and not saying that you don't sometimes look like the squeaky wheel, but sometimes that's what we need to get things done. So I know where I'm working that in my own school right now. So it's always a challenge, but that's how you make change happen.
This is Jeff Hawkins from Provo City School District. We're dealing with this issue right now, and we're really trying to get the public relations machine behind this. And we're finding that the parents are our best resource, and it's a free resource. If you can get the parents and the community behind what you're doing, it takes a lot of the extra effort out of it. A lot of times you feel like you're fighting a losing cause if you don't have the support of the people that you're that could be the most valuable in the process. So we're working really hard with our community councils and PTA organizations and that. Again, in my presentation, I showed a town hall meeting. We're trying to have more of those open discussions where people can come and ask and they can see what we're doing. You know, and it's essentially free to do that. It's free public relations. It's free publicity for your program. And if you can get those key patrons and stakeholders behind what you're doing, it makes things a lot easier.
Great, thank you so much. I think that's actually going to be it for questions. We have a couple more, but it's 2:12. And so what we'll do is, if your questions are unanswered, if you think of more and want to send them via Twitter to us, we'd be happy to share them with our speakers and make sure that those get answered. And just a reminder, the slides will be posted by the end of the week. We had a number of questions come in about that, as well as a recording of this webinar. So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to our speakers for sharing the wonderful work that they're doing around green cleaning. And we hope that you all can join us for the other webinars we're hosting this summer.